aby zajmowali Państwo swoje miejsca.
Well, good evening and welcome to the CEV Champions League. That's right, we are back just 7 months after Halkbank ANKARA made the Final Four, came forth. They are away at the debutants, a big growing team in the Champions League in Lublin. Yes, Wilfredo Leon is back in the Champions League this evening, and I cannot wait for what should be a humdinger of a match from Lublin. Well, the lefty opposite making his way in, Marek Schottler. He's got some key competition on that right side this year as Halkbank look stacked with experience and with talent. They'll be looking to come here and upset the party in Lublin as Lublin make their debut with a star-studded side in what should be an electric atmosphere. The Globe Arena, one of the best arenas to watch volleyball in Poland, and as you know, Poland, one of the best places in the world to watch volleyball.
For sure, the team of Lublin. They are favorite not only for this game but also for the competition, I think, because it's a really balanced team with 3 outside hitters, 3 middle blockers, the setter of the Polish national team, also the opposite, very good libero, and of course Leon, who make the difference.
Well, yeah, it's true. We are super excited. It's something really important for our club to play this third Champions League. Means it's one more game, a bit special, and I mean lately we played well. I think we are prepared for this game. We know that will be a tough battle.
Well, 2 legendary coaches, Stefan Antiga, who was the head coach of Poland when they won that historic World Championships at home in 2014. He's back coaching now in Lublin after being on the women's side of the game for a while. And then on the other side of things, there's a little bit of a legend there in Radostin Stoichev, the Bulgarian, who replaced Igor Kolakovic last year for that Final Four. It was a poor season domestically for Halkbank, and they're currently 2nd in the Turkish league this year. They've brought strength and depth to their roster, and this will be a tough challenge for both sides. Isn't it exciting to have an opening day clash in Pool B where it's hard to pick a winner? For Lublin, we've heard all about Wilfredo Leon, but there is another unbelievable athlete, Dayanan Jaimar, or Kofi as he's known, will make his Champions League debut here this evening. But the likes of Marcin Komenda, he's had a brilliant time here with Lublin, should start as a setter, and Kevin Sazak has been in the Polish national team and has been a real threat on the right-hand side. Well, the 2 captains, a huge evening. Ulas Kayak back for a 3rd stint with Halkbank, 44 years of age now, but here to bring the experience with Marcin Komenda. And it's a big one from the Globe Arena. Lublin on debut up against Halkbank ANKARA, last year's 4th place finishers in this Champions League. The experience in this competition with ANKARA, but Lublin at home with the quality that they have will be a real threat. We are not far away from action, 10 minutes from the first serve here in the CEV Champions League. Well, there's no tough games, no easy games, what am I saying, in the CEV Champions League. Galatasaray and NAC Rosselaire, the other teams that make up Pool B. This could be the most mouth-watering clash in these opening fixtures for the CEV Champions League. What a journey it's been. You can join the conversation, CL Volley M, put the hashtag in front of it. Louis Lett with you in the commentary box this evening, and it really is a real big treat to be here with you. Halkbank with so much more depth than last season. They've made many changes to their roster, but at the same time it feels like Lublin have done exactly the same as well. There's the likes of Alex Glozdanov, who had a brilliant World Championships. He will try and light up the middle as well. But Wilfredo Leon, who's got such a CV in this sport, a friend of mine told me today, he is the Messi of this sport, and it's difficult to disagree with him. The Polish outside of Cuban descent, when he moved to Lublin, was a big surprise, but maybe mixed emotions for that man there. Alexander Slivka, still recovering from a knee injury. I spoke to him earlier on in the week. He's just signed for Halkbank, having missed the opening weeks of the season. Yoandy Liel, he joined halfway through last season just to add a little bit of strength to the roster. Signed from Russia, and he made a huge difference. Halkbank, if there was one maybe doubt about them, it would be the age of their roster, but there's a lot of experience as well. The yellow jerseys of Lublin have taken this club to new heights. This is another massive evening for that man there, Kevin Sasak. Started at Warsaw, the best opposite in the VNL, didn't get so much court time in the World Championships. Was on the bench for a long period of time, but he has been a big figure to the success, and the split on the left of Leon, Sazak on the right, will cause Stoichev some real issues when it comes to planning how to defeat this Polish side. Well, talking about experience, Mati Kazicki, a three-time Champions League winner, underneath the guidance of Stoichev at Trentino. He's somebody that we have to keep an eye on, but also if you look through this depth of the side, you see Shotala. He's a retainer from last year, but now he's battling with Svetlana Sokolov, who's also in the Trentino glory days. The two Bulgarians underneath Stoichev should start this evening. For Lublin, we've talked about Leon, and when Leon joined Perugia, Lublin won the second division in Poland, and the Lublin fans wouldn't have believed you this evening that Leon is leading this team out in the CEV Champions League. Two packed rosters, a great night for Canada, 4 Canadians in the squad over both sides. Finian McCarthy should get the nod, and the Brazilian libero Tales has got so much experience as well. It's Lublin versus Ankara in the CEV Champions League. Well, Lublin, a beautiful medieval town in Poland, ready for a real battle. Town that was burnt down in the 15th century. It's recovered though, let's just say that. But talking to Alexander Slivka a little bit earlier on in the week, he said he couldn't wait to come back, be a part of this Halkbank side in Lublin, with some of the best fans in Poland. It was difficult to find a ticket for a game last year for Lublin. You can imagine what it's like this year. The local fans love the journey that they're on. posters of these players surround the town in Lublin. They are the pride of Lublin. And last year was such a huge occasion. And you think of the depth in Polish volleyball. Yes, Zaksa have been dominant in the past years in Champions League, but Zawiercie was so impressive last year. They lead the Plus Liga at the moment. Lublin in second place. And Plus Liga will be a dogfight once again, as will the Turkish League. Ziraat bringing in the likes of Tomasz Fornal, Slivka going to Halkbank with the likes of Joandi Leal. And the atmosphere, electric. It's another huge step for Lublin. And a fantastic evening for Slivka, who's just become a father for the first time. He doubts his injury has fully recovered to make a start this evening, but we'll have to wait and see. Slivka, who spent last season in Japan with the Sunbirds, back in the Champions League, having been such a big player for Zaksa in their 3 Champions League wins. For Lublin, the Challenge Cup winners last year, they won the double with the league. Their coach Massimo Botti went to Rezov, and in comes Stefan Antiga. The Champions League is back in abundance.
Wysłuchajmy hymnu Ligi Mistrzów. Dziękuję bardzo.
Well, 9 players left Halkbank after last season. The likes of Marta Russia, Baduma, Yatkin, Lagumdzija, who never really found his way in an Ankara shirt. Mert Matic, the Fenerbahce joined Lagumdzija there. Dick Coy left Iza Umvar. But they have brought in the likes of Mati Kazitsky at 41 years of age. The likes of Slivka and the likes of Svetan Sokolov, a 3-time winner. Yes, the average age has gone up for the visitors here this evening, but with that comes real experience and depth in the side as well. For the home side, not only has Jamar come in, Jackson Young and Rafael Prokopchuk, the former Zaksa second setter, who played alongside Slivka, Stefano Cesar and Harry Jokalainen, the 2 referees. could not think of many better ways to get this season underway. Pool B is ready. There's a 3-time winning coach. Back at the helm, a man that is not scared to show his emotion and potentially lose his temper. He's got the experience, and I'm surprised he didn't get the old Trentino band fully back together. But let's see if he can mastermind a victory here this evening away in Lublin. Well, the starting lineup for the home side, they certainly have height. Yoandi Liel, no surprise, will start on the outside with Kazitsky. Baltaji starts in the middle with Metin, so there's no Tayaz. Sokolov starts on the right, and the veteran Ulas Kayak as the setter. So Sokolov does keep his place in the side like he has done in the league. Radostin Stoichev goes with a lot of experience. A lot of experience. Grozdanov starts in the middle with Finn McCarthy, Comenda as the setter, Leon and Jackson Young on the outside, and Sazak as the opposite. There is no place for Kofi, but no surprise there. He will give them physicality off the bench. The best middle blocker in Finland last season. Antigua gets ready for business. .207. Kevin Sasak. He's played in some big games internationally as of late, but he will have a tough job on that right-hand side this evening. Leon against Liao. Let's go. Sazak against Sokolov. Halkbank ANKARA in the blue. Bogdanka LUK LUBLIN in the yellow. And we are underway in the CEV Champions League, and Lublin are looking to get 3 in the block, and Leon is looking to get his hands dirty early on. Kayak has to play a little bit of defense, and Sokolov will look for a challenge off of the bat. The atmosphere is one that you'd expect from a semi-final. It does give Kochev somewhere to go when he can bring on Schrottler. Kazitsky, 3 up in the block again from Lublin. And with this whole arena behind them, if they find their way, they will be very tough to stop. Halkbank ANKARA had a tough start last year, losing their opening game of the Champions League season to St. Nazaire. They bounce back to make the Final Four, but it's another big block. And my words, Halkbank need to side out. If you remember, it's St. Nazaire that went to Halkbank and upset them in their first ever Champions League appearance last year.
Okay, but we need to change him immediately. And transition, you remember, after the defense, it's only front and back.
Well, that was not the ideal start, calling a timeout after 3 points, but it is a bit of an unwritten coaching rule But if you lose 3 in a row, you have to get the side in and just try and slow things down. Finn McCarthy off to a great start. Canadian has a real bright future. It turns out to be a perfect timeout from Stoichev. As we said, an experienced team from Halkbank, could be classed as aging, but Kazitsky and Sokolov, part of that real Bulgarian connection with Stoichev, a duo that he will really trust and lean on. Kazitsky with the pass, and that's a great swing. Sokolov. Six seasons in Russia, he's back. Quick step close and a fast ball to the line. Serve on Leon, quick back to Leon. And that's a thunderous start. They all know Sokolov well and vice versa. Field goal. Yeah, you can't be playing defense on that one. How many times in the past have we seen Leon in big moments in the CEV Champions League take it to the opposition? Sokolov's trying to turn it back, a bit of rotation with the upper body. There's no problem there. Well, when Leon went to Perugia, the plan there was to win the Champions League because they had never won it. Leon left, went to Lublin, won pretty much everything he's got his hands on there. And Perugia took their first Champions League title last season. But as I said earlier, Leon, hold on a minute, touched the back of the line. Sokolov, also not a bad jump server of the ball. Physicality in abundance early on. Tip and it's straight down. Sokolov serving, upsetting the apple cart. And it's a strong right hand from the setter. But at 44, you have to say, yes, Turkish legend. Yes, somebody who came through the EuroLeague silver team. 3-time Turkish League winner. But also some big shoes to fill from Mike Amar, who's gone to Russia. Grozdanov, best middle blocker in the World Championships. He made 18 blocks, more than anyone else. Liao. Part of the 2019 team. For Lube that beat Kazan. Leon with the perfect pass. McCarthy back in the middle, nice and quick. Just a slightly wider ball to try and find the gap between the blockers. But Sokolov and Liao on that same team for Lube back in the golden days that beat Zenit. In a team for Halkbank that are certainly rolling back for years. But at the same time, with Kazitsky, Slivka and Liao, you're going to have some serious depth. Kazitsky, high off the hands, good recoveries. McCarthy again. Now with the free ball, sloppy. A big lunge. from Liao, and it's too tight. And it's Jackson Young. Here's Jackson Young, formerly of Friedrichshafen. Was coached by Adam Svachena last season, outside from Leon this time. Svachena was the Zaxa coach in between Tomasz, Samalevu and Gianni. But Young, a big part of that next gen program in Canada, led by Dave Preston. Be a proud moment for a lot of Canadians this evening. Welcome wherever you're watching from. Lay on the target. It's a great turn. There's a lot of rotating parts to this offense. Mender with a perfect set, gets his hips under the ball, sends it high, it gets across to the hitting window of Sazak, who can then turn it back into the angle. Lublin still by 2. Strong work from Halkbank. The ball's off the net, so the middle blocker is going to start looking at position 4 a little bit. And it's just forced on from Ulas. Good feet around the ball, a good link with the middle hitter. Service pressure now, and that's strong. Grozdanov on the wider ball, just trying to find the gap, but as much as Sokolov even pinches in there, there's still some room over that left shoulder for the middle. It's an outrageously good swing. And this game's starting to give us everything we wanted. Liao with the paintbrush. That was a tip. Metin. And that's one thing that this team have really done, Halkbank. Matic going to Fenerbahce means there's a middle spot up for grabs, but Plaz was such a big player in this team as well last year at 206. He's also on the bench. There's no shortage of talent in Turkey in the middle. Sokolov! Swing of the day so far. Kicks out of system. And however he squeezed this back into the line as well, class. Sokolov back to serve. A few seasons in Russia. Done him absolutely no harm. 3 in the block, good cover. Sazak. High off the hands. From the Polish opposite. Incredibly high. Well, here is Jimar Kofi, who was at UCLA for a long time. Millions of views on highlight reels. He's in to try and make a block. He does get across early on to try and get one on Sokolov, but Sokolov, who accessed the line previously away from the body, has come in and just crushed one cross body as well. Just has a little bit of afters, Sokolov, through the net. Kofi also full-time musician, he juggles both. And there he is into the offense. I don't think you can set him high enough. Let's just put it that way. Well found. Boltagi to get into the airspace of Kofi is going to be very difficult. Mender absolutely fine finding him. Great start to this game. Wherever you're watching from, welcome. would say that this matchup is giving us everything we wanted already. And a little bit of extra too from Wilfredo Leon. They've run the middle, and have a look at that for a double threat. Kofi on the wide one, and then Leon in the pipe. 5 is open for business because of the good work from the middle. Puzzle pieces are fitting together from Lublin, but it's a great reply as well. I'm thinking about this matchup earlier on. Thinking about Kofi with Leon on the pipe is scary. Good luck, middle blockers. Nash with a cheeky ace. And that's maybe one way that you can get to Lublin. Keep going after Leon in the pass. It's been a recipe for a lot of teams over the years. But that short ball also not only takes him out of the offense if he doesn't make the ace, it also limits some of the options of the setter. Puts Commander under pressure to try and find the opposite. Difficult off that straight ball to Leon to able to create the angles he needs to open up the offense. Passes back in to serve. Big serve as well to position 1. Once more, Ulash is just strolling about, peacocking a little bit because it's fantastic work. The speed of the feet around the ball to find the middle. Metin is there again. The middles for both teams functioning very nice. That's a little bit tight. Sokolov will eat that for breakfast, lunch and dinner, even against Wilfredo Leon. Some battle on that left-hand side.
Don't delay. Okay? Your first team will be here. Also remember the direction. Okay, so it's not on the strong side. Bring it up. Okay, so no, okay. Go on top of the head. Okay? Ah, let's go.
Bullet from Kaczynski. What a pass that is from Leon as well. And it's a beautifully spread offense from left to right. You can talk about Leon offensively all night long, but it was a wonderful pass. Leal's taking 6 in the angle because it was such a long set across. You had to give the line. Sasak is so big and athletic that he can open up that ball to the line easy. More sharp angles. This time from Leal. Leon put on his backside, but deflection off the middle blocker. Both teams not in a bad position here. Leon goes back to Leon, and my word, the reason that you bring him inside in the pass is to make it difficult for his footwork to hit the sharp angle, but pivots back into the court, turns it back sharp. And for those watching at home, that's high-level volleyball. Then he delivers that. One great pass, one great swing, one fabulous serve. Leon doing Leon things here.
Take some one defense against the sack from the second line. In 1, 6-1, always 3 players there and we take the defense. Now, he will for sure serve one more time strong. Pay attention now. Creati in avanti, non alzarla la palla. Attento perché può battere fuori. Dai, 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 oh!
Well, Leon was the best server in the Challenge Cup last year, but what hasn't he won in terms of individual awards? Best scorer, best server in the Olympics, Paris, best server in the Champions League in 2016-17. It's another good one. Sokolov out the back this time. The service pressure of Leon, not only scoring aces, but just starting to knock the visitors a little bit out of rhythm as well. And the home fans can certainly be heard. Leon on an absolute tear behind the service line. Liao, it's tight, it's over. And Sazak says thank you very much for the freebie. Wilfredo Leon is on one. The battle of the two Cuban-born outsides is on. Sets in a good position this time. Leon's playing defense. The good news for Halkbank is they eventually get off of the rotation that's plagued them for too long. Where Leon found a run of serves, Sokolov can't. Well, in comes another promising youngster, Hilja Heno. European Championship best outside and best scorer as France beat Italy. You know he's already going to be in Lublin for another year, the big lefty. Comes in to serve and play position 5, and that's tight again. And nothing that Liao can do about that one. Heno certainly has done his job off of the bench to come in and just sneak one. Bogdanov coming back in as well. CEV Cup winner as well with Monza. But we know that Bulgarian volleyball has hit a new era with the Nikolovs, but it's not just about them as well. Who didn't perform in the World Championships for Bulgaria, as they took a historic second place. Young back in the offense. Had a great start to this game. Goes off the middle blocker. And that's one thing, you know, that with the big middle blockers, you make them move, you try and stay fast with the arm, and the fast arm sometimes beat the footwork and the hands of the blocker. Lublin, one away now from the perfect start to Champions League volleyball. The service pressure in the second half of the set has been too good from the home side. Maciej Malinowski, in his 4th season, having previously played for Zawiercie. Line is open for Sokolov again, and he takes it. as we saw earlier on, when that ball is on a shorter distance, very good at getting his feet inside the ball and hitting the line. Malinovsky leaves us for the time being. In comes Brody Hoffer, Olympian from Canada. Set point Lublin. Sazak huge into the angle, and it's Lublin that have been near to perfect at the back end of the opening set. And on debut, they've beaten Ankara by 25 points to 20 in the first. A service run from Wilfredo Leon that took the game away from Halkbank ANKARA after a very, very tight start here in the Globe Hall. The yellow of Lublin could not have dreamt for a better start here in Pool B. Lots of work from the bench, lots of changes throughout, service substitutions, Kofi coming in the middle as well. Antigua certainly knows his side and how to work his squad efficiently. Halkbank, some strong plays, but some sloppy ones as well in the setting department at times, some tight ones. But it's Lublin off to a dream start in Pool B. (25-20). Lublin on a roll already. Halkbank ANKARA, you feel like they have quite a lot to do. But we've already seen Leon light a match on this one behind the service line. What do you think? You can join our conversation anytime that you like. Hashtag CLVolleyM. Is there any way back for Halkbank? Will Lublin have an easier night than what anyone would have expected? At the moment, they look physical, unfazed. And they've put their best foot forward in the opening set. Seven points for Sazak, 5 for Leon, 7 for Sokolov as well. Sokolov scoring at 60% efficiency-wise, same as Leon. Sazak scoring at 88% efficiency. Lublin occupy the left-hand side of your screen in yellow for the second set. Halkbank in blue on the right. Feel that for Halkbank ANKARA, they just need to dig in a little bit here, but Sazak, shall we just up that hitting efficiency up a little bit more? Draws that one. Just on the outside of the block of Kazitsky. In Italy for a long time, Kazitsky making his way to Turkey. And it's more service pressure And Finn McCarthy with the wow factor. Hammering hard into the left seam. Volkan Done, ever present in last year's Champions League. Also at 39 in January. Nowhere near that one, but they do get the ball back this time, but Sazak is on an absolute heater. And imagine this, if you're a middle blocker for Halkbank, you have Sazak on absolute flames one side. And you look across the net and you see Leon on the left. It's 3-0 again. Stoichev makes another timeout. He looks unhappy with Liao. Uh-oh. Things don't seem overly settled in the Halkbank camp. Taking a bit of a battering from that man. Once again, a strong timeout, but he's done his job in both sets. Serving his side to a 3-0 lead. Kazitsky, Liao, and Done in the past, certainly in the back end of their careers, or maybe even more. Kazitsky into the net this time. Question mark will be when Slivka is fully fit. From my chat with him earlier on in the week, it's coming. It's just not quite there yet for him to be on court and help Halkbank. That's a good set. Passes from one into the middle. The middle blocker has to shift to their right. It gets brought back to Sokolov to the left. We should be able to see Grozdanov takes a little step to his right. The one-on-one's open for business. Sokolov doesn't miss those. Ulash. Well, let's see, because Leon puts another one away. I feel like they're really going to miss Mike and Mark in that setting department, especially with the riches they have on the pins this year. They're certainly going to have to keep rotating the outsides. Slivka coming back from injury, and just Liao and Kazitsky. It's a lot of games for them. Tales hasn't done anything wrong as of late, the Brazilian. There's a lot of experience into his position, that's for sure. Fast to the outside. Young goes with the fast arm again. Kazitsky just steps up and takes it high, and Liao smuggles one through. They're starting to find a little bit of rhythm here. The beauty of having Liao. The higher ball situation in transition, he can just find a solution from pretty much anywhere. You think about that. Lube 18, back to business for Grozdanov. Again, Leon puts the pass in perfectly. The setting from Comenda so far has been on point. For that Lube side that had Sokolov, Liao, Robert Landy, Simon, Balasso, Yurikova, Bruno, Big Daddy, Stankovic. I mean, you had to be good to beat Kazan. They were very good. again. The target of a lot of the passes so far, but he's doing a good job absorbing them. He's going to have to manage some of the risks. It's another error. No touch. Kazitsky. And for all the good things they're doing at the moment, Halkbank, there's a few things letting them down as well. Vulcan in the middle. Gonna have to cover the seams. The seam management has let them down at times. Doesn't matter this time. Sazak shows that he is human. McCarthy, really good work from the Canadian. Just shows that he's showing no signs of losing concentration. Also goes with the middle, holds the middle as well, and that's just as crucial. Takes Metin with him. That was fantastic from McCarthy, the things that go unnoticed by some. Leon and Lublin. Once again, pull away. You have to say, it's another time that he doesn't look in rhythm, Sokolov. And if you're Stoichev, do you bring in the chimney, Marek Shotler, who's just getting more and more impressive? Leon just hits sharp angle from anywhere. Gonzalez with a great set, just keeps that ball high inside, and that's important. Keep that ball with a good shape. Give Leon something he can really come and get his feet to. Shotler has to almost be an option, doesn't he? Part of the side that started last time out in the Champions League. There's a few changes from that team in the Final Four. Potentially an opening hit. Sazak after missing the serve. A couple of errors that's crept in. Kazitsky. Once again, good serving. But it's okay, when you're out of rhythm, you can go to Leon. For Comenda, it just gives him an outlet every single time. Sits that ball up. And Leon does the rest. Big serve, big time, Comenda. Not just a Challenge Cup winner from last year. VNL winner as well. And here come the substitutions. It's been a very enjoyable game so far, but what can Hoffa do coming off the bench to try and support this Halkbank side? Kazitsky's the man that's been stopped and nobody's going for it. Liao is throwing some toys out of the pram already. Him and Stoichev have already had a few words. Sokolov trying to bring some calm to the situation. Halkbank look a little bit under pressure for all the experience that they have. Hoffer under pressure in the pass again. Chase is on here. Jackson Young puts that ball into a good spot. What a touch that is. Thales is there. On the reverse, Sazak shut down. Better. Liao. A little bit of a fist clench. What a rally that was. I hope you're happy that the Champions League is back. Because I certainly am. 3 up on Leon. He goes with the softer one on Liao. He has to cover the most ground, and in those situations, Leon just goes after Liao. Due to, sorry, off the middle, my mistake. Wow. A mix-up of all mix-ups. Stoichev losing it. Leon has just upset the apple cart massively. Have you ever seen it before? That's a very unhappy man.
We need to change something. We don't play.
Right, we need to see that again in terms of...
Otherwise the tactic is nothing. Simple cover. Second step, easy service.
Leon.
Let's go, boys, come on. Let's go again.
3 passes of Halkbank. Certainly looking to settle in for Leon's jump serve. The question that I have would be, with the new rules in the rotation, the fact you can move early, is the delay in the timing in the serve from Leon causing rotation problems. Is he going to do it again? No. But he does fire up the furnace, Leon. Off the head and out of bounds. What a game at the moment Jackson Young's having for Lublin. We can talk about Leon all day long, but it takes a village to win Champions League games. And Young is on the money. The problem for Ankara is that frustration has entered their camp, and that's a big problem. To the outside, there's another, no, it's still alive. Stefano Cesar has blown his whistle though, and it's another Lublin point. Where are you going, Andy Liao? Come back. Pass off the net. Again, since coming on, it's only been a struggle for Brody Hoffer in the pass. And you can already see Halkbank are preparing for the next set. They're swimming against the tide here. Liao, 3 up. Good night. See you later. There's Alex Grozdanov. I mean, this is one-way traffic now, and the fans love it. The pass is everywhere again, and you can already see why Halkbank have said we need Slivka in this team. A little bit of fire and organisation, consistency in the pass. It's more Jules 1 at the net for Lublin. Hoffer swap for Kazitsky. Didn't have the stability that Halkbank needed. And this run from Leon, again, let's not underestimate the impact of that man, not just on the performance this evening, but as I mentioned earlier on, when he moved to Perugia, this Lublin team were in the 2nd division in Poland. And now look at them, through the middle, easy money. Komenda needs to be commended for his leadership here. Again, running the middle. That's not in the perfect zone, but the further that ball travels, as long as it's in a good spot. Kofi back in. Frightening change. McCarthy certainly played his part in this performance so far. 2 up on the right. Oh! Yes, Stefan Antiga says he likes it. Kofi raining down a little bit of pain off the bench on Sokolov. And the rest of the Champions League will be watching very closely. He knows when to make his substitutions, Antiga. They need something. They get something, but somehow Young gets that pass in. It's off the head. That maybe sums up Halkbank's day. Gets a bit of a mouthful of it. Vulcan. And this Halkbank side certainly wouldn't have been cheap to assemble. Schottler in the pass off the bench, and he's under the cosh now as well. Not so much his job to be part of the passing unit, but he was in there. And they do bring Slivka on, and Slivka gets a hero's welcome from the Lublin fans. A leader of the Zaxa dominance. A 3-time winner, a world champion. And he will certainly bring some energy in. The question mark has to be, is he 100% fit? Sazak comes back in. Wojciech's gone to his newest asset. Malinowski straight back out. And Slivka straight back in playing 6. And that's sharp. It's another one that goes Halkbank's way. Well, when Slivka did his injury in the national team camp back in June, you could hear the scream from outside the gym, so it's incredible to have him back. No digging that one from Leon. And it's set point for Lublin. Herno comes back in. And that pipe again, absolutely insane. Kofi doesn't take the middle this time, but Leon comes through. The pipe, we've seen 5, we see him hit 1. Herno. Part of this next generation of French stars. Schottler's dug Leon to go 2-0 up. Kazitsky plays defense. Back to Schottler. He's shut down. And it's Kofi again with the block on the left-hand side. put another point to that man's name. Huge out there with Leon. A huge performance from Lublin so far. They lead Halkbank ANKARA by 2-0, and that second set is an absolute drumming. 25-14, service pressure in abundance. Halkbank have gone off the boil, and Lublin are in 5th gear, but you feel like Halkbank are only in 1st or 2nd. Bench, he was shut down. Let's just see if he starts. 25-14. Not what the doctor orders for Halkbank ANKARA. So let's see how this one pans out now, because Halkbank have got it all to do, but here in the Globe Arena, the home fans will be happy. Hashtag CL Volley M. You can get involved in the conversation. Have Lublin just seriously set the tone for what could be a march towards the Final Four in May. Special performance till now. They're currently 2nd in Plus Liga. 8 wins, 3 losses. Zavierci above them. They've lost 1 more, but as they look behind them, Skrabel, Hatov, who have struggled as of late in Plus Liga. They're on the comeback in 3rd place, 8 wins from 10 matches. They could go above Lublin. Zavierci have already lost 4 this season, leading the way. And Varshava and Halkbank hurt in the knockout rounds of the Champions League last year. Wow, the changes. Stoichev and Liao were not happy with each other. Now Liao is staying on the bench. And does that mean that Slivka comes in? That's the first time we've seen McCarthy serve let this team down this evening. And that's a great start. Kazitsky, Toffer, I think, that's come in for Liao. Certainly is. It would be a very brave move bringing in Slivka from the start. Schottler also in from the off this time. Leon. has not put a foot wrong. The service pressure from this Lublin side just keeps the opposition on their toes. Komenda's float serve has got Done out of rhythm a couple of times. Vales is there. Look at the work he does off the ball to get into good positions, reading the game. His setting also not too shabby. Leon is dug from Volkan Done. But the set is tight again. And there's absolutely nowhere that Hoffa can go here. In these situations, we talked about the ball being high inside, out of rhythm. That ball was fast and inside. There's nowhere for him to go, apart from to try and push up and recycle the ball. Menda off to a start. Everyone getting involved in the pass. This is not pretty from Halkbank, it really isn't. There's obviously no communication as Metin takes the pass. There's another block from Lublin. They have to take control of things here. The float serve from Komenda, causing all sorts of issues. Volkan Done struggling with the overhand, and it's another one for Lublin. The float serve here, the first time 2 points ago he took it underarm and took it too high. And he's obviously tried to correct himself to say, okay, I'm going to try and cut the angle off and go overhand. And his hand's not aggressive enough to the target. And this is just sloppy from Halkbank at the moment. Schottler out of rhythm. That ball not where he wanted it to be. And Volkan Done again beaten, this time offensively. And Lublin, sometimes you have to work so hard for your performance. And all they have to do at the moment is make sure that they're present and they're pushing, because they're getting absolutely nothing back from the opposition. Okay, Liao back in. Halkbank. Need Slivka fully fit. But they do make the side out. Good set this time from Ulash. Again, finds that middle well. The other target inside again. We saw him hit sharp angle last time. Good luck, Ulash, on that one. They've given Liao a little bit more of the easy out to the line, and Ulash doesn't want a slice of that. You can't blame him either. It's another early timeout.
Now, guys, we have only one option in 1 minute to start to play. Now in service is Leon. If we don't change him immediately to start to push, to organize, we look like the team who is here for what? To do what? I understand the sports goal, I understand the service, I understand everything. But to give up like this, no, guys. We cannot give up. Hey! Guys, wait, guys.
Leon is crazy. And having listened to that timeout, experienced players being told not to give up. And Leon Shotala finds a way through, quick enough with that hand. And that's just something that you wouldn't expect. Yes, they've served the leather off the ball, Lublin, here at times, but it feels wild to hear Stoichev talk to a world-class team full of international players and players who have made Final Fours, and you'd think that never giving up was a non-negotiable. High from the Owl. He's not found his range here this evening either. Sounds like just withdrawing the hands. Very smart so he doesn't touch it. Leon is there in defense as well. They're not giving them an inch. As much as we're talking about Halkbank not performing, Lublin have been absolutely outstanding. Leon hunting the pipe down. No, the one-on-one's on the right side. And being a middle blocker against this Lublin team at times must be horrendous. Commander pulling strings just when you thought he was going to give it straight back to Leon on the pipe. That's been so successful. He flips it back, and Halkbank are in struggle city. But Commander is getting the one-on-ones. Lozdanov now adds insult to injury. Antigua over the moon, and rightfully so. That man's got some real problems. Stoichev, and how to get the best out of this team. It's an overpass from Liao. Here they come again, and it's another one. Jackson Young this time had a brilliant performance out here. And Halkbank are looking like they want the ground to open up and swallow them up. 12-4, the second time out taken now by Stoichev.
Point by point. It doesn't matter that we lose again. We only lose. But we need to work and to fight until the last moment. Did you understand me? Stand up and go. Now the service is 5-6.
Well, whatever Stoichev would have wanted this to be, this would not have been it. However he envisaged this opening Champions League game, and have a look at him. There's a man having some fun. And the Lublin fans, whatever they dreamt about this morning for this opening Champions League game, I don't think they would have thought it would have been this straightforward and this easy. Kazitsky. Oh my days! And Halkbank, full of Champions League winners, legends, have all of a sudden forgot how to play volleyball. Now, take some frustration out on that one. The difference now, it's still a long way. Lublin's receiving. Leon with a very good pass. And that's been the story of the evening. That even when Halkbank manage, well, there's going to be an impressed man. The head coach of Poland, Mr. Globus, watches on. Watching the likes of Sazak, watching the likes of Sazak make aces from the service line. And I tell you what, the Lublin fans came to the Globe Arena expecting to get home a little bit later than normal and have a later bedtime. That certainly isn't going to be the case. Hala. Well, that's maybe the only way that Halkbank won't go home, or the Lublin fans won't go home for an early night, as if it's dragged out with some challenges. Halkbank needs a minor miracle. Was there a pancake? Look at the left-hand side of the ball. Was it on the floor, or was it on the hand, is the question. Sazak again. He's on an absolute flyer. It's another absolute rocket as well. Kazitsky, Leon a little bit high there in defense, but he's absorbed absolutely everything this evening. He's had an outstanding game. Halkbank have to be at their very best to score. Kazitsky goes high off the hands. Nine away. Oh dear. I think the question mark's going to be for Stoichev here. He's won absolutely everything in terms of Champions Leagues. He's won 3 of them. And he's gone out a team of experienced all-stars, and he's going to have to still lift them up. Remember, Halkbank, the wildcard team this year, or one of the wildcard teams for this year's Champions League. Alongside the likes of Rezovia, Montpellier as well. Yeah, with good defense. It's going to be a free ball here. Chance to go up by 11 again. Through the pipe. And again, the balance of this Lublin team, the way they're running their offense is exemplary. Carthy's been good on the middle, Leon's on the outside, Sazak's on the 10, and then you go to Jackson Young on the pipe. And of course you're going to get a free net for him. We expected a mouth-watering clash this evening, but we've just got a big performance from Lublin. And we've received a Halkbank performance that's just stepped away from the pressure at times, which you would never expect with the likes of Kaziski, Liel, Sokolov trying to find a way through. That would have been some swing from Sazak. Ace Kazitsky. Halkbank have something to shout about. It's been a while. And you have to think and go back and go through the game and say, okay, Leon served really well, McCarthy served really well. You look at Halkbank and you think, who's really got on a bit of a run? And you can't remember, because the pass and the offense of Lublin has been too good, and Volkan has to accept that. Leon again has passed absolute money. When the service pressure's coming at him that hard, being a little bit safer and bringing the ball off the net is absolutely no issue when you have Leon on the outside, Sazak, and the players that they have in that slower ball sort of situation. Liao back, finding his way. And on the target again. Tactical serving, trying to upset him and his rhythm offensively. It works that time, they get the tip, but once again, the middle blocking and the transition work has been outstanding. To be completely honest with you, I've just found myself applauding here in my commentary box with some of the work from Lublin. They are just not giving an inch to the opposition. Sometimes you think the Halkbank are trying to play a little bit too smart in transition. And you just see with Komenda, he's very good at bringing control. There's no control there on the pass again. How many overpasses this evening? Goes faster to the pin twice in a row. He goes quicker to Young for obvious reasons. But especially when Young doesn't make the first contact and he can be quicker off the ball to get to his kick point. More service pressure from Leon. And if you would have told me that this game would have been over in an hour and 15 minutes, I would have never have believed you. Arda Bostan comes in to set. Former Bela Disipur setter, Challenge Cup winner in 2023. Makes no difference. Both timeouts are used, the substitutions to try and slow the game down. And the absolute onslaught, the off-speed one this time from Leon to upset the passer's rhythm. Lublin are 2 away. And it just doesn't get any better this evening for that man. Leon has been exceptional. Lublin have been on another planet, but Halkbank haven't been there at all. Shotala. It'll be an interesting dynamic with him and Sokolov. Had a great World Championships, Shotala. Very good in the Champions League last year with a lot of standout performances. That cross-body serve is an absolute belter. But they put pressure on in every area. Lublin and Liao in transition again cannot find the court. And Lublin now bring on Kofi just to mix it up and bring a little bit more athletic ability to the front court. 1 hour and 14 minutes since the start of this game. Lublin are off to the perfect start in the Champions League. A team that have grown through the Polish leagues have their first side out for the match. And there you have it, Lublin off to the dream start in the CEV Champions League for 2025-26. They have absolutely battered Halkbank Ankara by 3-0. A team led by Wilfredo Leon, his serving, his offense, Marcin Komenda, brilliant in the setting department, but they have strength everywhere and they put in their best possible performance this evening with a full crowd here at the Globe Arena. And for Halkbank, that is going to be a very, very long flight home for them. (25-20) certainly made a game of it, but 14-13 is an absolute hammering for Halkbank, who made the Final Four last year. They brought Stoichev in with a lot of experience. He's brought a lot of experience into this team. A lot of serial winners in European volleyballing history, but it hasn't worked at all for them. The pass wasn't there. And the man of the match, the MVP, Kevin Sasak. It could have gone to so many, but the MVP is Sasak on the right side this evening. A fabulous, fabulous performance. Lublin can't believe the journey they are on. Halkbank, with an all-star team, certainly have some issues. They struggled with the service pressure of Lublin, but they were a little bit out of rhythm at times too in the setting department. They never fully found rhythm, out of rhythm either. And Lublin with a colossal victory. Schottler off the bench, but that will be one disappointed Halkbank side. And I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be in that dressing room after this game. They've come to Poland and they have been absolutely dismantled by Lublin. Sasak, Leon, the perfect split on the left and the right. But players like Finn McCarthy with a brilliant game, serving his team into the lead in sets 1 and 2. Good in the middle. Jackson Young never letting anybody down out there this evening either. Strong in the arm on the offense. A great passing game. Thales, a quiet game, but did everything he had to. And then off the bench, the likes of Kofi. 2 great blocks in set 2. Wow. Glozdanov, his career keeps growing. Good Lublin.
Congratulations, first of all, of the first winning in the Champions League. How do you feel?
Oh, I feel amazing. We won first time for the club in the Champions League, so for us it's something big. And we are happy that we start this game good, and we follow all the time our game plan, and at the end we won, so nice for us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Comfortable. Sasak, the MVP. Volkan struggled to deal with the service heat. A team full of experience, Halkbank ANKARA. They didn't really lean on it this evening at all. Lublin, the younger team. Lublin, by far, the more impressive. Lots of aces and a lot of struggles this evening for Halkbank. The good news for Halkbank is that there's no more Champions League action for them until the 7th of January against Galatasaray. That won't be easy. Lublin back in action away at NAC Roeselare on the 8th. They will be the happier of the two sides. Galatasaray await Halkbank. Jean Patry will be their star man. There were 7 or 8 star men for Lublin this evening in what was just a wow performance. Smoke in the air because Halkbank have been smoked.
Tak, Aleksander Śliwka razem ze mną, Olek. No przede wszystkim chyba to, co teraz tutaj się działo, o czym Tomek Swędrowski mówił, a więc podziękowania kibiców. No doskonały widok, że w końcu jesteś na parkiecie.
Tak, szczerze mówiąc, ja nie spodziewałem się sam, że to będzie tak wcześnie. Ale na razie mogę pomóc drużynie w takim wymiarze, wejść gdzieś tam do drugiej linii, pomóc w przyjęciu, w organizacji gry w drugiej linii. Także mam nadzieję, że w kolejnych meczach również będę mógł pomóc i nasza drużyna osiągnie lepsze wyniki. I tyle, ale to jest wzruszający moment dla mnie, bo kontuzja była naprawdę ciężka i dużo walczyłem, żeby ten moment jeszcze w Polsce, przy kibicach polskich, którzy gdzieś tam tutaj skandują moje imię, to wzruszam się naprawdę.
A jak się czujesz? Opowiadaj przede wszystkim właśnie zdrowotnie, jak to teraz wygląda, jak wygląda etap twojego powrotu.
Tak naprawdę jestem już przez doktora dopuszczony do wszelkich aktywności siatkarskich. Natomiast trzeba powoli wdrażać mnie, jeśli chodzi o obciążenie, tak? Także jeszcze trochę czasu potrzebuję, aby wejść w takie pełne szóstki, w skakanie, w blokowanie, w zagrywanie. Te rzeczy jeszcze przede mną, a tak jak mówię, na razie w drugiej linii obrona, przyjęcie, wystawa, organizacja gry, tego typu rzeczy. Także cieszę się każdym treningiem, każdym dotknięciem, bo bardzo mi tego brakowało.
A cieszysz się i tak naprawdę zaczynasz delikatnie wracać do tego na nowo? Czujesz się, jakbyś wracał do tego na nowo od wszystkiego?
Tak, z pewnością. Z każdym, powiedzmy, momentem, w którym mogłem robić coraz więcej. Najpierw chodzić, potem, powiedzmy, truchtać, biegać, poruszać się. Ten głód siatkówki wracał, stawał się coraz większy i teraz naprawdę, jeszcze widząc taką atmosferę, jak jest tutaj, to niezwykle się cieszę, że mogę znowu być na boisku.
Wracasz na boisko, to znowu jedno z nowych wyzwań, ale jeszcze jest nowsze i najnowsze dla ciebie. Gratulacje oczywiście. Bycie tatą brzmi dumnie, nowe obowiązki. Jak się z tym czujecie? Jakie to są teraz wyzwania dla was?
Czuję się wspaniale, niezwykle się z żoną cieszymy, wszystko jest ok. Syn jest zdrowy, powoli sobie rośnie, także mam nadzieję, że moja rodzina będzie mogła do mnie dołączyć jak najszybciej w Turcji i że będziemy razem mogli sobie mieszkać i kontynuować tą przygodę.
Co masz jeszcze do powiedzenia naszym kibicom, którzy nas tutaj bacznie oglądają? Przede wszystkim możemy też śledzić Ligę Turecką na naszych antenach, to może jakieś zaproszonko.
Kibicom przed telewizorami dziękujemy, że byliście. Na pewno oglądaliście ten mecz, śledźcie Ligę Mistrzów na sportowych antenach Polsatu, tak? I trzymajcie kciuki nie tylko za polskie drużyny, ale też za drużyny, w których grają polscy zawodnicy.
I dużo, dużo zdrowia.
Dziękuję bardzo.
Tego życzymy. Wracamy do was, panowie. Aleksander Śliwka. Drużyny. Gratulacje za to zwycięstwo. Debiut za wami. Jak się czujecie po tym debiucie?
Super. Myślę, że mało kto się spodziewał tak szybkiego meczu, tak wysokiego zwycięstwa. Ja jestem bardzo szczęśliwy. Dla mnie to był pierwszy mecz wicemistrzów, dla wielu chłopaków od nas z drużyny również, więc myślę, że duża ekscytacja przed meczem, dużo takich pozytywnych emocji i super, że kończymy właśnie w takim stylu ten dzisiejszy dzień. Myślę, że lepiej nie mogliśmy rozpocząć tej Ligi Mistrzów i miejmy nadzieję, że pójdziemy za ciosem i im dalej w las, tym będzie tak samo jak dzisiaj.
Walec dzisiaj przyjechał się po tym Halkbanku, ale czuliście takie pozytywne spięcie przed tym meczem? Był w ogóle delikatny stres?
Nie, myślę, że stresu jakiegoś nie było, bo już jesteśmy chyba zbytnio doświadczonymi zawodnikami, żeby odczuwać jakiś większy stres niż podczas meczu ligowego. Natomiast na pewno, tak jak wspomniałem, była ekscytacja, było takie pozytywne uczucie, które dawało motywację i myślę, że to się fajnie przekuło w dobre granie.
A trener Antiga jakoś specjalnie was nastrajał przed takim pojedynkiem?
Nie. Myślę, że trener z tego co pamiętam, to w szatni po prostu powiedział, że to jest bardzo ważny mecz w perspektywie rankingu w tej grupie. Dobrze zacząć, żeby potem też było łatwiej w kolejnych spotkaniach, żeby nie mieć tego noża na gardle, tylko po prostu grać dalej swoją siatkówkę. Tak jak wspomniałeś, dzisiaj był ten lubelski walec. Czasem takie mecze właśnie się zdarzają. Naprawdę dzisiaj świetnie graliśmy w każdym elemencie i jestem dumny z naszej drużyny.
Dziękuję bardzo i gratulacje.
Dziękuję serdecznie.
Wracamy do Was. Marcin Komenda. No to zacznijmy od początku, choć to nie był wcale długi czas, bo bardzo szybki mecz nam tutaj dzisiaj zaserwowaliście. Hymn Ligi Mistrzów. Były ciareczki na rękach?
Na pewno fajne przeżycie. Myślę, że takie długo wyczekiwane na pewno tutaj w tym klubie. Ja też się cieszę, że to taki powrót do tej Ligi Mistrzów, do tych elitarnych rozgrywek. Chociaż uważam, że po tym meczu nasza Plus Liga też nie ma niczego sobie do zarzucenia. Fajnie. Ogólnie wygraliśmy, więc to na pewno nas napawa optymizmem przed następnymi meczami, ale zdajemy sobie sprawę, że to nie koniec, że musimy dalej ciężko pracować i następny rywal już czeka.
Ale czuliście się chyba bardzo pewnie na parkiecie, bo było widać po Was, po Waszym mentalu, po Waszym nastawieniu, że idziecie absolutnie po swoje w każdej akcji.
Tak, dokładnie, takie było nastawienie przed tym meczem. Byliśmy bardzo dobrze przygotowani taktycznie. Fizycznie wiadomo, bo jest sporo grania, ale staramy się o tym nie myśleć i to schodzi gdzieś na dalszy plan. Liczy się tylko i wyłącznie ten mecz. Myślę, że w pierwszym secie granie punkt za punkt, ale już drugi i trzeci gdzieś tam, jak już odjechaliśmy przeciwnikowi, to utrzymywaliśmy tą przewagę i też gra się łatwiej, więc to na pewno nas cieszy.
I chyba też to, co powiedziałeś, że więc nasza Plus Liga no nie ma absolutnie się czego wstydzić i nawet takie nazwiska, jak dzisiaj widzieliśmy po drugiej stronie siatki, no nie robią chyba aż takiego wrażenia i absolutnie Was nie zabetonowały.
Dokładnie tak. Ja już po ostatnim meczu też dostałem podobne pytania, także mówiłem, że uważam, że w naszej drużynie też mamy mocne nazwiska i po prostu my się nie mamy czego obawiać. Dzisiaj to pokazaliśmy i z tego jesteśmy dumni.
No i chyba najważniejsze, każdy trener to powtarza, żeby właśnie w takich sytuacjach dobijać rywala. Dzisiaj absolutnie szliście po swoje, będziemy to powtarzać w każdym zdaniu.
Dokładnie tak, można powiedzieć, że taki walec, ale też z szacunkiem do przeciwnika. Nas po prostu cieszyła dzisiaj dobra gra, z każdą akcją się napędzaliśmy, a kibice po prostu nas jeszcze bardziej pompowali i to jest najpiękniejsze.
Dziękuję bardzo.
Dziękuję bardzo.
Wracamy raz jeszcze do Was.